Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Steve Ramona. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness. Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. Every episode is an invitation, a reminder that business and life isn't just about profit, it's about purpose. It's about showing up with a servant's heart in every deal and every decision, every day to make a powerful impact on others. Today's guest is going to light you up. You'll be motivated, you'll be challenged, and most importantly, you're going to walk away with tools that inspire action both in your life and the lives of others. Audience, here's your homework. How will you serve yourself and others today? Doesn't have to be a big impact. Even a small act of kindness or courage can change the game. So lean in, take notes. Shout out to my two sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, and it deserves to perform like one. Want to think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer? Just text the word optimize to 72000. Optimize to 72000 and get instant access to 6 short, powerful videos, each just 3 to 5 minutes, that reveals simple strategies to unlock peak mental performance. Because when your brain is clear, your business grows. And the Epic Impact, the storytelling system that helps your message connect and convert, it's just 4 steps. Engage, persuade, inspire, close with clarity. I use it every day for all my messages. Try it free at epicimpact.ai with code STEVE. Change your messages, change your results. Excited to announce Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast was named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you all of you, my guest and my audience. You've impacted so many people. Let's continue doing that. Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. Well, guess what? We're going to talk about sales and marketing, both needed for your business. But let's pair that with AI. How powerful will that be? Steroids. That's what it turns it into. Let's bring our guest on today. Roderick, welcome to the show.
Steve, how are you, man? It's good to see you again.
He's a 3-time guest. He just broke the record, 850 shows. He's a 3-time guest because he's got so much value to bring. That's why I love having him on.
I am honored.
Thank you so much. Sales and marketing, extremely important. The 4 pillars I believe in business that need to be taken care of. Why'd you pick those 2 for AI?
No, first of all, it's my background. I started out as a sales guy. I carried a bag myself for a number of years, and it gave me an opportunity to not just feed my family, but feed my soul. Also, over the years, sales has gotten, let's call it kind of a bad name. And I think it's actually, when it's done well, it is one of the most amazing jobs that you can actually do. And the way I kind of delineate it is, sellers are out trying to sell, where I look at it as stop selling and start helping. Figure out where the problem is, figure out where you fit in. And sometimes it's about figuring out that you're not the right end state for that particular client.
Beautiful. That's a servant's heart right there. We start off with a bang.
There you go. You know how we roll.
Yeah, you can't put a square peg in a circle. It just doesn't work.
Sir.
You try all day. I guess you could use AI to figure it out, but I'm not going to go that level.
Yeah. Well, there's another reason too. One more thing, and that is for the longest. So I call myself a recovering corporate executive. I was SVP for 30, 50, and 15, 20, whatever it was. It feels like 100 years.
Many years.
But many years. And so what I realized was there has always been a chasm between sales and marketing. So I created this thing called sales enablement, which literally sat right in that gap to pull sales and marketing and customer success and customer sat and all those things together at the same table to, again, have a conversation instead of giving presentations to each other, and really starting to learn each other's language. And my job was to be the translator of languages and dialects, speaking Russian, German, French, of all those different lines of business, and then being able to translate between them in their own language.
I love the what you said. Say that again. You have. Oh, you just
Start
said something.
having conversations,
That's
stop giving presentations.
No, I got to write that down. And audience, hope you are too, because I see that as a problem as I mentor some business owners between those two departments. This is
Oh,
exactly what they're
always.
doing. Yeah, but hey, well, marketing, we do this, and this, and
Oh,
sales
we
like,
always
well,
give you a million leads. And what sales say? Because they're suck. But then when I sit them at the table, I always look at sales first and say, have you ever actually explained what the difference between an opportunity and a lead is? And they're like, no, they should know. I guarantee you they don't, because you don't explain the same way that you don't know their job when it comes to marketing, messaging, and positioning. So how about this? Let's take the titles off, leave them outside the door, and let's just sit down and figure out how we can communicate, collaborate, and orchestrate together.
so what I'm hearing from you, an ideal company would be those two departments are meeting, I would say, weekly to converse, not to sell each other, but to converse, solve the problems, what's working, what's not working, and the company will grow.
Absolutely. And also companies that are focused on the why, not just the what. And what I mean is, what's working? Why is it working? Why is it not working? What can we do differently? What have we tried? And also, especially today, how can we start working smarter, not harder, by leveraging AI between these two organizations, as well as success and the front end of biz dev and the technical pieces and the HR pieces. We've all got to work in the same direction and row the same directions. Or what happens, Steve, if someone is going clockwise and one's going counterclockwise? You just spin in circles. And that's what's happening in a lot of companies out there right now.
Okay, open Pandora's box. We got to know that AI bridge that you built. Tell us about it, because it sounds powerful.
Well, I think that for me, there's kind of 6 ways to leverage AI to increase efficiency, productivity, as well as collaboration between these groups. One is around streamlining lead scoring, right? And what I'm saying is prioritizing leads based on their likelihood to convert and allow them to focus on their efforts that'll actually move towards closing deals. The next is the obvious that we all do, right? There's the chats and there's the bots and there's the agents that now take on all the automated tasks, everything from, data entry, appointment scheduling, follow-up emails, again, freeing up our sales professional to actually do what they do best, which is providing high value activities like building relationships and with prospects and also closing deals. The next thing to me is real-time analytics. Sure, and I'm not talking about smiley sheets and butts and seats anymore, people. I'm talking about being able to provide the sales professionals with real-time analytics, whether it comes from marketing or it comes from operations, so that they've got insights into their sales activities that are going to help them identify the areas where they can improve their performance and make data-driven decisions. The next piece is, now I want to talk to my sales leaders for a moment, and that's personalized sales coaching. Because I know, as I came up throughout the sales world, and as I do now, I sit on a number of boards and I'm still consulting with companies. I've realized, and don't take this wrong, please, sales leaders, most sales leaders don't know how to coach. They know how to manage, but they don't know how to coach, because either A, they're trying to create mini me's of themselves, or secondly, they were never actually coached themselves. So what if I could provide them with personalized coaching to their sales professionals based on their individual strengths and weaknesses, by analyzing their sales activity and then understanding where they get stuck along the buyer's journey, not the seller's journey. The next piece is, and everybody wants to talk about sales process. I don't care about your sales process, your sales methodology. I care about your selling motions and how it ties back to the ultimate piece, which is the buyer's journey. But you can use AI to do things like creating proposals, contracts, sales docs. Then again, you're giving those sellers, those sales professionals, time to go and do what they do best. And also now coming back and returning with information to marketing that they can make those adjustments to the messaging and the positioning. Now we've talked about the front and the back of the house. Let's talk about the back end of the house, which kind of gets left out like you're the stepchild, and that is customer success and cuss. Yeah, we've got the bots, we've got the virtual assistants, right, that handle the basic stuff. But what if we could teach these CSMs or customer success managers how to actually have those conversations and I'll call it suggestive selling, if you will, because they've got a captive audience. They want to be here. And by the way, here's a note for you. Nobody wants to be heard from their customer success manager or their account manager 90 days before it's time for renewal. And suddenly you're like, hey, I'm glad that we had a chance to chat. What AI can do is create those bonds and then allow the human create the context around those so that now you've got a full circle and full cycle going on 24/7, 365.
So you're enhancing the human with AI.
That's my whole goal, because I firmly believe that, and we all know, AI will give you content beyond our wildest dreams. We still need the human for context. That's why my tagline and my hashtag has always been IQ plus EQ plus AI. To me, that is the new three-legged stool of success for companies. That's how I help companies.
I love this because that's what people, I just did another show about AI and Terminator comes to people's minds. Oh, the robots are taking over, which in our lifetime it's not going to happen.
I hear that a lot. And I also hear that
Yeah.
AI is going to take all of our jobs. Contraire. First of all, I think AI is creating new jobs, as well as there are some jobs that will go away. Let's be honest, right? But what it will also happen is it's not the machine, it's actually people that don't know how to leverage AI. I always ask a simple question, and I'll ask you, Steve, do we still have horses?
Yeah.
But there was a time where there was this new thing called an automobile. And we thought that that would take away all the work that horses do. What happened is we found a way to use them differently. That's exactly what AI is doing now.
That's well said. I'm going to take the transcript and copy that because that's well said in
Thank
regards
you,
to AI. You said a word that's powerful, data.
Yes.
Gold, I think, is at 4,000 an ounce now, the highest it's ever been. Data is worth much more than that.
Oh,
talk about data, because people, and I talk to a lot of people, I don't really want to know my data. They don't look at their financials, but once every 6 months or quarter, like, oh, that's important data. Talk about that.
You know what? Data is, to your point, it's the new gold, right? Which means every company needs to know how to leverage AI to mine that gold and then turn it into digestible, what I call knowledge bites, right? Digestible chunks that will then drive you forward based upon both front end and back end data, right? You've got leading and you've got lagging indicators, but it's no different than anything else you do with AI. I think, let me stop for a second and say that. I look at AI no different than Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. I know it sounds crazy. I think they are productivity tools, and the outcomes of all of them are only as good as what you put in. The same with AI and data. If you know how to be a solid prompt engineer, you're going to get down to the nano understanding of data that can then be used by sales, marketing, product marketing, HR, engineering, enablement, RevOps. So what you're doing literally, like you said earlier, is you are using AI to mine for data to make their people more human and more profitable and more productive.
This is awesome. That's why you're back for the third time. Because what came to my mind when you're talking is when websites came out, we didn't know how to search. We were clunky in searching, and prompting in AI is no different. It's a different way we do it, but it's
Right.
the same action. We had to learn how to search on a website. Now we got to learn how to prompt, which I'm learning is powerful. That's the
Yeah.
key to the language learning machine. Okay,
Steve, you remember the old
go ahead.
adage, everything that's old is new?
Yes.
That no longer exists. We're in uncharted territory right now. But
Yeah.
what I will do is drop another old adage that life is not just about growth, it's about evolution. And we are in an evolution state right now like I have never seen in my entire life. And if you just embrace it, no one says you have to go out there and learn 35 new AI tools. Go get two or three, get really good at them. Find two or three more, get really good at it. And then figure out how to position that in your job. First of all, nobody's indispensable. So let me be, I'm not polyamish, right? And I don't have the rose colored glasses. But what I will say is this, there's a way to make yourself needed more than you are right now with less hard, elbow grease. If you just go learn a couple of tools, you don't even have to tell them you're using those tools. Unless you want to go and share and make yourself, the go-to subject matter expert, you can do that. But if you learn 3, 4, 5 tools, you're not indispensable, but you certainly are more needed.
And Gary Vaynerchuk, if you don't know who he is, Gary V goes
Yeah.
by, reach out, you know who he is.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said something on a podcast, which is why I love putting the podcast. He says, AI is going to make more time for the human. It's going to take the
Absolutely.
mundane tasks, and it's what you're saying. It's so cool, and I love that. Audience, remember that it's going to give you more time for revenue generating actions
Absolutely.
and stuff that you do. So you've done us a favor. You know what favor you've done for us? You know, well maybe you don't. You wrote us a book about all this to make it easier for us listening and reading. Talk about your book, how you're making this all so much easier.
Yeah, there's 2 books on it. The book is called Sales Enablement 3.0. And why I call it 3.0 is because I think the first phase of sales was all about, door to door and those kind of things. And I think phase 2 era was, let's think about Y2K, right? When everything was about automation and expansion. Well, Sales Enablement 3.0 is exactly what we were talking about previously. And that is, how do you take what you have now and scale it? So I've done actually a couple of things to help, Steve. One is I wrote the book. Secondly, I wrote an interactive companion workbook to go with it that now can be customized for each company. The third is I have a workshop that I actually do to help companies that want to bring me in house and go, hey, you've done this. How do we do it? And then for those that are a bit sharper and self-starters, I've created what I call the AI sales enablement system. It's literally a 7-part framework built for scalable, high impact enablement functions that drive revenue, alignment, and then ultimately results. Because without that last piece, it's useless. It's literally a 7-week program of online self-paced work where you take all of the things we've been talking about to put into practical application. Then once every other week, I come out when I release a new section. I give them a little, soul food, I'll call it, right? Live as a webinar. And then I send them off to do their thing and I give them templates and tools and all kinds of things.
That's very cool. I love alignment because that's powerful in the business. Marketing
Absolutely.
and sales. If they're not aligned, you're not going to get sales.
Yep.
That's almost 100% guarantee, like death and taxes. So you go out and speak, and you love to speak. We'll get all this information, audience, if you're listening, how you can connect with them in a bit here. But talk about what you go out and like to speak about to groups.
Well, there's a couple things. We just talked about one, which was the alignment by leveraging AI. And the other piece is something that's a bit closer to my heart. And now I'm talking to, corporate events and offsites and leadership pieces and associations. And it's something that I call stroke of success. And it's literally a semi-autobiographical book on my meteoric rise as a corporate exec. I was with Siebel, eBay, HP, Oracle, Salesforce, Marketo, etc. But it's not the puff my chest out. It's actually while I was raising myself up to be more successful, I was disconnecting away from my friends and family, and I didn't even realize it. And then ultimately, the second part of the book is about what happens when you don't have balance, you don't have self-care. I actually had a massive stroke where I actually died, flatlined. They brought me back. And the third part of the book is what I call the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's literally things that happened to me and other people. I wrote the book to help others so you wouldn't go through what I went through. You may never have a stroke, and I pray that you don't, listener. But it's unfortunate that American Stroke Society says that 1 out of every 4 adults over the age of 25 will incur some form of a stroke. If not, then you count 1, 2, 3, 4 in your circle, somebody there. I've had 2 and I didn't even realize it. So what I'm doing is I'm giving resources. I'm giving meditation pieces. I'm helping people not to go through what I went through. And I'm not just talking about the stroke. I'm talking about life is life in right now. And so I give some great ideas of how to and how not to do things and how to take those setbacks and turn them into stepping stones moving forward in life.
Life is lifing. I like that because it's all over the place right now.
Indeed.
Good, bad, indifferent is, I'm a very stoic guy. I read the Daily Stoic, and what the Stoics will tell you, you just got to deal with what you wake up with today. We have no control over that, but you have control. And congratulations. I now remember your story, and go back and listen to our previous shows with Roderick. Just search him. He'll talk more about the stroke, and congratulations. I have a friend that had a massive stroke, and he's
Thank you so
struggling
much.
5 years later.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just passed my 4-year stroke anniversary, as it's called, last week.
Wow. Powerful. Well, you're a true servant's heart. The last question before we close up here. This might be a tough one, but what do you see AI looking like in the next 2 to 3 years?
Ooh, I think it's going to change the landscape of business. And what I'm about to say may be controversial and may be really scary if you're one of these roles. I think that if you are a BDR biz dev or an SDR sales dev rep, there will be no role as you know it right now. Because prospects are no longer asking us to educate them. They're not even asking us to delineate anymore. What they're asking us to do is to validate, which means we can skip the biz dev piece. We can go directly to talking to the salesperson. But I'll also say this. I read something the other day, and it said that 80% of prospects, thanks to AI now, are all the way down the buyer's journey to about 80% before they even reach out to a salesperson. So stop worrying about how to educate people and how to delineate between me and my competitor. Oh, they know that already. What they need to know is what's your business value that your company and your product brings. And what I mean is, so Mr. and Mrs. Company, person, what we bring is this, and this is the problem it solves for you. Here's where we've done it before. Here's who will stand next to us, behind us, and beside us. And here's why you should be with us, because we will help you increase productivity and efficiency, decrease pain, and ultimately build customers for life. That's what AI is changing right now.
It's well said. I've asked that question a number of times, and it's one of the best answers I've heard. So I appreciate
Thank
you. Let's finish with a fun question. Let's get out of business. Let's get into fun.
All
Let's
right.
do a little improv. So I've reserved the table at a restaurant me and you're going to sit at. I want you to invite 3 people, whether dead or alive, that you want to sit at that table that you've always wanted to talk to, meet with, get to know. But more importantly, what food would you order for the table? Because you're ordering the food.
I'm ordering the food. Okay, let's see. The 3 people that are going to be at the table with me are going to be My mom's going to be there. All right. I'm going to look around and MLK is going to be there. And thirdly, ooh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say General Colin Powell is sitting there. What I'm going to order is a family style, probably Italian, because it's hard to mess that up for one, right? And plus, I don't know who has allergies, but everybody eats Italian.
Yeah. And it's lunchtime here while we're recording this, and that was not good timing because I love Italian. I am Italian, half Italian.
There you
And
go.
it's,
My
it's,
wife
it's
is Irish Italian, so it's going to be
oh,
Italian. I can tell you that.
oh God, we got to bring a chair for her too. Your mom's going to bring your wife too.
She'll definitely be a fly on the wall, no question.
And I'd love to hear your mom talk to MLK because she's probably around that time. The stories we'd hear.
I would
off
sit
the
back
charts.
and I would not say a word that entire dinner. I am there to be a sponge.
Get a little notepad, my digital iPad there. I'll be taking
That's
notes.
it.
That's fantastic. Well, again, you're a blessing.
Thank you.
So congratulations. You know, you've recovered from the stroke and you give me hope for friends that I have the stroke. I appreciate that. But you're doing more. You're serving people. You have free ebooks out there. And how can people connect with you?
Let's see, for the free ebooks, as well as the books that I've talked about, they're on roderickjefferson.com on the website. If you want to get me directly, you can hit me there, or you can hit me on LinkedIn, Roderick Jefferson. If you're on Insta, Roderick_J_Associates, or if you want to hear the rest of the story about the stroke and how I bounced back, you can find it on YouTube at Roderick Jefferson.
Beautiful. I love this. Thanks again, an audience. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and again, another great podcast, a great guest. You know, we've done 800, almost 850 shows as of November 3rd, 2025, and we've impacted thousands of people. And this is another impact. You're talking to people about AI. Send this link about Roderick, what he's talking about. I guarantee in 10 or 15 minutes, you can go, I still hate AI, but I think more importantly, they're going to go the other way and go, I got to learn more. And they've learned something about AI because it's coming. If you're not embracing it, you're going to be left behind, as Gary Vee says. You've got to embrace it. And you said it perfectly, Roderick, little bits at a time, 2 or 3 tools, add tools. You know, the internet, we have 89-year-olds going on the internet. 20 years ago, you wouldn't see that. AI is going to be the same way. It's going to be adopted by everybody.
Knowledge bites. It's all about knowledge bites, Steve.
Knowledge bites. Remember that. What a great way to end the show. Let's end it right there. So me and Robert want to thank all of you for watching or listening to the podcast. We'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.